Since I had some of my Dutch friends come with me to the United States, I thought it would be fun to, discuss among the Dutch and the American what Thanksgiving is, what the meaning of it is, what the origins are, what our understandings of it is, and also, to get excited about the food. So I want to share with you guys a series of questions and interviews to get a look inside my family's Thanksgiving that we celebrate every year.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna sing you a song. From Birmingham to Amsterdam, New York to LA. She sang a song and shouted from a blue Chevrolet. Bang, bang, boom, boom. The man on the moon. Da, da, dee, dee. You're talking to me. From Birmingham to Amsterdam, New York to LA. She sang a song and shouted from a blue Chevrolet. Bang, bang, boom, boom. Man on the moon. Black Jack, get back. Looking at you. Da, da, dee, dee. You're talking to me. Deep down, far around, baby, you couldn't see. Yeah.
Let's start.
Let me just fit you with this tracking device here. Oh no, here. This is for you. You can kind of pinch it here. You can just pause a little bit after I ask, before you answer, so I can cut it.
Kind of like what I tell the witnesses at depositions. Let me finish my question before you start your answer. Yeah.
Exactly.
But people ignore that and, of course, talk over each other all the time. Anyway,
So you're a witness.
I'm a witness, so I'm going to talk over you.
Perfect. I'll play lawyer. Objection. Ready?
Depends on the question.
So, well, happy birthday, first of all.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nora Bolis. We are doing an interview.
It is my first Thanksgiving, although we did celebrate Friendsgiving in the Netherlands.
Is this your first Thanksgiving in America?
Yes, yeah, definitely in America.
For Thanksgiving, we will be having turkey and mashed potatoes. I don't think we're gonna have cranberries. No, I'm not sure. But we have Thanksgiving. We're gonna have turkey, of course, because we're already making turkey. Oh, this is an interview. This is my dad.
Amazed I'm here still, but I
You're
am.
not dead yet.
I'm not dead yet. I think every day's a miracle at this point.
It's someone's birthday.
Who?
It's Dee birthday. My Dee is the guy you were just interviewing with.
And who is he to you?
He is my grandpa, and he is cooking turkey because I just saw a bag of turkey.
Sometimes they're really special, like this one is really special to me because I really enjoy having the European flavor to this one, right? I mean, I'm sitting there and people are talking in Dutch around me, and I thought they were ill at first, but it turns out that they're just speaking in Dutch.
Well, I have only been, prior to being in Tennessee, been to the East Coast of the US. No, sorry, the West Coast. California, Washington State, Oregon, a little bit of Utah, Nevada. So I really look forward to seeing the real Midwest, Southeast. I don't know exactly where we are, but
I think just a difference, we just came from California, and a lot of people were like, well, you're going to Tennessee, that's going to be such a different experience. So that I'm curious about how different, and because I don't really have any idea. I have no clue what I'm going to see and and hear and feel and everything.
Oh, of course, the Dolly Parton Museum. Should be very interesting and cultural, but that's really Tennessee.
The other side of the U.S., people with not with cowboy hats, but with big trucks and yards full of tractors and stuff, and and woods and the kind of raw America I want to see.
Smoky Mountains, the nature.
I mean, I can say stuff about guns, shooting a gun, or going to the Trumps, but that's not really Tennessee, that's America in general. So really Tennessee would be the Dolly Parton Museum, or Dollywood, it's called? Dollywood, yeah.
I was told that I might run into a black bear.
Maybe, I don't know, we'll see, yeah.
Not necessarily the touristy stuff. I would gladly see that as well, but I'd like to see the local down-to-earth culture, and people have some talks with people at the, I don't know, gas station, for example, or a little shop. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I would like to run into a few bears. I know what to do now when you encounter a bear.
The Smoky Mountains, that's really nice, and we have them right here. I really like that.
You make yourself very big, yeah. And you pretend like if you're with multiple people that you are a bear, and then you make a roaring noise, and yeah.
So I'm hoping for that. And of course, when there's bears, you expect woods and everything. So yeah, and of course, because we're going or are in the Smoky Mountains, I'm gonna expect to see some mountains. Oh, and smoke.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
When I think of Dutch culture, I think of cheese.
I don't really know a lot about the Dutch culture.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
I know almost nothing.
I don't know about that.
So the Netherlands or Dutch culture, vaguely, I'm not very familiar with these things.
A lot of iconography. I think a lot of stereotypes. Hopefully I'm not too stereotypical.
Great cheese.
Let's see, biking, present day, yeah. Present day biking. I mean, like, that's something I admire and, you know, wish we had. That's a thing.
Well, so I live in Amsterdam.
So I went to Amsterdam one time when I was a kid.
I love Amsterdam.
You know, they've had kings.
And I just envision people that look kind of like the Amish.
I remember when I was little, I was fascinated by a story called Hans Brinker and the Silver Skates.
I know very little about the Dutch culture. Windmills, tulips.
Like, I know all the like kind of stereotypical like tulips, bicycles.
First time I was in the Netherlands was in Amsterdam when I was 19, backpacking through Europe, and went to an outdoor open air cheese market, and it was like unbelievable. We got to sample all kinds of different cheeses. Windmills and red light district and crazy things like that.
Waterways throughout their city that they had to defend over the years. Like, I mean, spent some time in the Rijksmuseum, and I learned a bit about the Night's Watch. And
Like, they wear the little bonnets, and they have little kind of dresses that are handmade by their grandmother.
I view people in, what is it, Lederhosen? Is that or is that German? The type of dress. Lederhosen, that's it. But see, I tend to view, like, I don't know, Austria, Germany, Netherlands, sort of melded together in a lot of ways.
I don't remember what the story was, but I remember when I did know the story, I was very little, I mean like 5 or 6, was when this show came on TV, and my dad and I watched it, and he was a figure skater, and he was teaching me how to skate, and then we watched the show about a kid in the Netherlands that, you know, was a skater, and it was a show about that, a story about that fascinated me.
And I was with my girlfriend Carol, and we were living on $10 a day, but we spent money on cheese because it was fabulous.
One thing about the Dutch people, they're very practical, straightforward.
And all the canals and kind of reclaimed wetlands.
And they wear those shoes, the big clogs with the pointed tootsies.
Wooden shoes with pointed toes.
Clogs. I had. I don't think I still have, but I had a pair of clogs at one point that I would wear around the house, which is totally crazy. They were definitely like souvenirs. They were not supposed to be on your feet, right? But it's just like I was excited as a kid.
I did buy a pair of wooden shoes when I was 19 on my first trip there. I still have them. They're fabulous.
Some of the dams, what do they call them? The
Very organized people.
dikes?
I know the, like, I guess fable of like the kid in the little wooden clogs, like having to plug the, you know, like the dike with the fingers because it's busting, and like that's like a thing.
The famous story about the kid who saved the country by plugging the dike.
Yeah. And one time they failed and all of southern Holland flooded.
Some of the images that come to mind are tulip fields. Maybe that's more Amsterdam. I don't know. Canals, for example.
They have a lot of these practical traits due to their past of being traders, you know, commercial traders throughout the world during the Dutch East India Trading Company.
Beauty, absolutely gorgeous. Lots of outdoor open air festivals.
Like windmills, tulips.
Seafaring nation.
But I know that it's very culturally rich. I know that there's some interesting things that are in some ways relatable, but to us in America, but not quite, like Sinterklaas, for example, who, if I understand correctly, is a bit of a controversial figure, but I won't opine, I don't know enough.
Windmills is another thing, and poppies are part of the sort of impression that I have about that part of the world.
I know about the history of how our early founding fathers went to Amsterdam, in particular, big financial hub, and how they negotiated the funding of the revolution, which was a huge deal. Without the Dutch's assistance, we wouldn't be sitting in this country right now, most likely. So that was a huge deal breaker, especially John Adams and his negotiation, and Jefferson too, a lot of his negotiation with the Dutch, who are excellent business people, that I do know.
Very thrifty and innovative.
Very open and generous with their time, and
the tulip bubble, like, but also the beautiful tulip fields and all that. That's the Netherlands, right?
Seems like a very clean place. So I guess cleanliness is really important to the Dutch because it shows up that way.
I know that the trash comes out of the ground. I know that it's well known for prostitution, at least in Amsterdam, along with drug use. But I hear that it's an absolutely gorgeous city, and I look forward to visiting.
But what I do know from the people that I've met is that they're just very nice people.
Amazing art and artists. Love the Impressionists. Van Gogh in particular. Went to Van Gogh's house when I was there 40 years ago, whatever it was.
It's a different type of voice and sound.
I was telling Claire last night that Dutch language sounded like English, but made of aluminum that had been hit by like a bat a bunch of times, like it just dented in.
Festivals, you guys do a lot of festivals, and like parties and things like that. So
Dutch is how you say something, but in a different language.
Hardworking and industrious. I take it back. I guess I know a little bit more about the culture than I thought. I worked with a Dutch brother and sister team who ran study abroad programs all over Europe, and that's how your mom and I went to Spain, is we were looking at their language schools. And I was so impressed with the hard work, smart moves. They were incredibly industrious, really good business people, and a lot of fun. Oh my God, they wanted us to go out at 10 o'clock at night and stay out and party all night. And we're like, we want to go to sleep. Big partiers, that I know too. Beautiful place. Like to get to know it more.
Like, y'all had legal weed before all of us, and everyone was very excited about that. That's it. That's all I got. So, you know, looking forward to learning some more.
Like the pool balls, half ball, whole ball, half and whole, like stripes and solids.
Like how you say England, but it's different. Because you say like different words, but then they mean the same thing, kind of.
I mean, I want to go to Amsterdam. I have a friend that goes there a lot and has a ball riding bicycles all over the town and everything. And I want to do that, and I intend to, so I can drop in on you and all that kind of stuff. It'd be fun.
That's the Netherlands, right?
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Wait.
I love you.
I'm not sure. I think it has to do with the pilgrims that came here back in the day when everything was undiscovered.
The settlers came to the U.S. From Europe.
Well, I maybe it might be a myth, but we always thought it was about the cowboys and the Indians.
No. Well, I think I knew, but I forgot.
Thanksgiving is like a tradition.
Well, there was a Thanksgiving feast was a typical early celebration that centered around the fall harvest.
It's my understanding that the first winter after the Pilgrims arrived and landed, I guess, on Plymouth Rock in Massachusetts, out on the end of Cape Cod or wherever the heck it is.
It was, the Pilgrims came over, were not doing so well in terms of like a harvest, and they got help from Native Americans. And
the Pilgrims came from England, escaping religious persecution.
The Pilgrims came over from England for religious freedom, I believe.
I think in 1642. Anyway.
Well, admittedly, I should understand more about it, and I think when a lot of people consider it, there's iconography that pops into one's mind.
Rough approximation. The classic Thanksgiving, I guess, was the Pilgrims, accepting gifts from the Native Americans.
It came from all of those who were escaping religious persecution and wanted to do things their way. The Pilgrims taking off in ships from Europe.
I mean, there's the version I think that I learned in school about just, probably to some degree paints over, whitewashes a little bit of the history of American settlers.
Well, it's a holiday where people say what they're thankful for. Something about pilgrims gathering and a lot of sharing. And
the Pilgrims were effectively kept alive by the locals, the indigenous people of what we now call the United States, and sharing of the harvest.
And you have a feast, and you eat turkey, mashed potatoes, maybe cranberries, mac and cheese, green beans, if you like them.
They came to America for religious freedom. I don't know that it was called America at the time.
Came to America or North America and started a settlement, struggled for years.
Of Pilgrims and of Native Americans sharing a meal together.
And then right after they say what they're thankful for, they go out and buy a bunch of new things that they need.
Yeah, okay. And they had like a joint meal together. I don't know how true that is. There's a lot of things that have been papered over that are not awesome. So not clear if that's 100% true, but that's, I think, what people would generally say.
Thanksgiving started when the Pilgrims had a guy named Squanto.
It was a difficult time, a difficult start. They didn't know how to plant. They didn't know how to raise crops. They were barely surviving, and the Indians, the local indigenous people, helped them.
and it's about the Pilgrims.
The idea was that these two very distinct cultures could come together and share and break bread.
Probably never happened, right? I mean, I know there's like squash and corn and like, you know, people didn't starve, which I think seems like what a lot of people did, you know, except for the folks that were already here and knew what to do. So yeah, you know, yeah, I mean, it's a nice thought. Probably never happened.
For sharing their land and their fields, cattle, crops, whatever, with them. And then later it evolved into more of a family thing, family tradition, family day for everybody to be together and be grateful.
And it was especially poignant in the United States in the very beginning with the Pilgrims, because they were literally starving to death and were in great danger of just not making it.
It had to do with the Pilgrims coming to America and living off of the land that was inhabited by the Native Americans and sharing in the harvest. And
to come to what we now know as the East Coast of America, and they would have died except for befriending Indians who lived there, Native Americans, we call them now, to help them learn how to survive, or else they would have died from starvation, basically.
But with the help from Indians, they survived. More and more people came over. So they celebrated their Thanksgiving with the Indians.
It was a very harsh winter, and you know, the colonists that had arrived were starving, and the Native Americans that were living in the area actually provided them what they needed to stay alive.
And the Pilgrims actually decided to help them out a hand because the Pilgrims had all the tools and the ways, obviously, of the land. They knew how to build their own crops, they knew how to take care of themselves, and the Pilgrims were actually suffering when they just arrived. So it was, yeah, there was a feast to kind of all get together.
But I believe it was Abraham Lincoln after the Civil War that instituted Thanksgiving as a national holiday at a really fractious time in our country's history. And so that was quite needed, I think.
You know, like massacre and smallpox blankets. Yeah. Rough. You know, that. Yeah.
So they were very grateful, and they had eventually a big dinner to celebrate, and they called it the first Thanksgiving.
Of course, the Indians came to their rescue, and we have this idyllic view of, you know, the first Thanksgiving with the Indians. Of course, there were no turkeys, there was none of that. But it was a really powerful celebration at that time because they were so close to starvation all the time. They had such a tenuous hold on their existence here, and that the fact that they made it ultimately with outside help helped found a kind of a tradition.
Out of that experience of showing up and needing help and having the locals come to their rescue gave birth to this holiday called Thanksgiving, which I guess is uniquely American. I don't think any other country has anything like it.
What did I say first?
Pilgrims. The Pilgrims shared with the Pilgrims.
Oh, no, the Native Americans shared their resources with the Indians. No!
Over the years, it just became something about being grateful for being able to spend time with your family, and sort of like a Christmas.
The Native Americans, they shared their resources and also their food with the Pilgrims, and there was a big feast. And for just a little while, there was some peace.
This was at a time when the Pilgrims first came, and there was lots of trials and tribulation, and I think that the Native Americans were helping them at this time, and so this meal that they shared together was a moment of unity in what is perceived to be a complicated history among the two.
It was really Abraham Lincoln, and also had a lot to do with the Civil War, where he declared Thanksgiving as a national holiday and on a fixed date and stuff like that. And of course, national holidays are very important to Americans because we work most of the time, don't have many.
And then it's just sort of evolved into a great big national holiday and taken on all kinds of significance beyond what originally happened up in Massachusetts, in the Massachusetts Bay Colony or wherever it was.
And nowadays we associate Thanksgiving with different iconography, turkeys, the Thanksgiving Day parade, Macy's parade, football games, and family, and other traditions. So that's kind of how I perceive it in my mind as a holiday, that is.
I think the core of it is about bringing people together and recognizing our shared humanity and, breaking bread, being together to share a meal. And I think that's the thread, the piece that's lived on.
So kind of giving thanks, I think, but it's more about the human condition of just being, you can share a table with a complete stranger, someone that you live on their land, or they welcomed them in, I guess, in a way. History probably not too kind.
No, I don't remember.
And so I think kind of symbolically it demonstrates that you can have two different types, completely different types of people with different objectives, but yet still be unified in serving one another and offering thanks. And so I think that's more of the traditional, perhaps, understanding. There's a lot more to it.
The early settlers.
Yeah. And then what?
And,
But I mean, now it's a lovely holiday where we all get together and we hang out and we eat a big turkey, and that's nice. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
And then they help them make corn and hunt. Then they had a feast and made Thanksgiving a tradition.
Is coming together, share a meal, and build bonds around the things that bring humans together.
And also, it was really significant at the time because so many people died. It was, I can't conceive of how people bore the losses. More Americans, soldiers, military people died in the Civil War than all the wars the United States has been involved in combined. And it was a relatively young country with, relatively, 75 million people. I mean, it was a huge hit, the proportion of people that died. So to have a celebration and a Thanksgiving and stuff in the middle of all of that carnage was a very potent thing. And he was the one that started it, sort of kind of for that reason. He wanted people to remember that they were fighting and then celebrating for something of value. And so I think it has a lot of significance in that regard. And of course, it went on from there. So that's what I know.
Yeah, just the stuff that we all know not to do. Everyone knows how to behave today, so hopefully we can keep it together. We'll see. Yeah.
Well, it's the usual politics and religion, because those are two things people feel extremely strongly about, and almost everyone thinks I'm right and everyone else is wrong.
Like the classics are like, don't talk about like religion, don't talk about politics, don't talk about, X, Y, Z. I think those things tend to get folks fired up.
Religion. I feel like that's been the mom's probably politics.
Politics. Religion and politics. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Politics, no. Can I elaborate? No. Should I elaborate? No. Will I elaborate? Yes. No.
Oh yes, politics. Probably one thing that is something that's not necessarily talked about too much regarding all the family, but yeah, probably politics is the one thing that I can think of.
Politics. Anything to do with politics.
Politics?
We sort of have a no politics rule, simply because we don't want anybody disturbing the force.
Politics. Apart from Dutch politics, because it is our election today, the day before Thanksgiving.
I mean, politics is probably good to stay away from mostly.
I think we're pretty open.
It's not about our opinions or our thoughts or about things like that. It's really more about just us and why we feel grateful for anything. And so I'd say, you know, we have a prescription against that, and that's one thing we probably ought not to talk about, although I don't mind talking about it at length anytime.
I think we can all talk about anything in this family.
I don't want to be quoted for this one.
With this group, you know, I think you would just maybe avoid. I don't think politics would be such a crazy topic for this group, but maybe some of the stuff that's going on, like current armed conflict kind of stuff. I would say for the last few years, a lot of things have been perceived sort of very clearly one direction from everybody who's on the left. And I think right now, like with what's going on, there's like not a singular like correct point of view from a lot of people, which there ever is. But I think probably that would be a good one to avoid. I don't know how people sit on that one. So
There's lots of things we probably shouldn't talk about, and I think we're all doing a good job. Yeah, you should just run Sandy's answer, and that's the answer.
I'll just run Sandy's answer.
Yeah.
Well, the stereotypical answer would be politics and religion. And it's kind of understandable because politics and religion are extremely important. We might want to dismiss them in our lives, but they have major implications for our lives and for the lives of people around us. And so I understand that people are impassioned about it and want to express their mind and perhaps persuade others. I think that's important. But I don't think that those topics or any others should necessarily be taboo in and of themselves, especially if they're so important. So my answer is there shouldn't be any topic that is off limits. Rather, the thing that matters is our spirit and our attitude in how we approach certain topics and our loved ones. If we are charitable, if we are humble, if we are self-controlled, if we're willing to listen and perhaps even open-minded, then I think it's important to share what's on our mind, especially around the people that we care about the most.
Well, I would, off the top of my head, say we shouldn't talk about death because I'm 71, right? Just kidding. No, let's not talk about that.
Shouldn't talk about. Yeah, I think we can discuss anything, as long as we keep it light. I guess, you know, we can discuss politics, we can discuss history, we can discuss economy or the wars that are going on right now. But maybe it's just not a very interesting topic. I don't know. Maybe Thanksgiving should be more about learning about each other's lives and things that are going on in each other's lives and plans for the future. A bit more positive, I suppose. And all the negative stuff you can discuss anytime.
I mean, I think there's so many things that you can talk about, like how people are doing, or what keeps them happy, or what jokes, funny things. I think those are way on top of the list before heel anything where, you know, opinions lay very far apart.
So, you know, there's no real point in opening up those cans of worms, because all it ever does is create problems and cause dissension and all that kind of stuff. But I fully intend to talk about religion and politics anyway, just to piss people off.
One topic? What's a topic? We shouldn't talk about?
Yeah, is there anything that we shouldn't talk about?
Well, maybe not.
Thanksgiving is, to me, it means a time for families, friends to gather and to enjoy each other and to enjoy meals.
Thanksgiving for me is a time to be with family.
Well, it says it in the name, it gives it away. Thanksgiving is a time to think about what you have, and not in a materialistic way, but yeah, just to be grateful, I think.
Thanksgiving is, I guess about being grateful for all the amazing things that we have and get to live and experience. And
Thanksgiving as a holiday, for one, is a ritual of sorts. And I think rituals are really important for people because we are very forgetful.
Wow, that's a hard question, actually. Turns out.
Time to get together with family and friends.
For the last 30-something years, probably. It means going to the boluses for wherever they are.
Thanksgiving to me, actually I would say, I think it's my favorite holiday.
Most recently, in the last 10 years, your family, Rosemary's family, which is very nice. I really enjoy that.
Started in Daytona, then went to Baltimore, then went to some place up in Ohio. Ultimately ended up in Knoxville as Paul moved around to different jobs.
To me, it means, well, first thing, I associate Thanksgiving with, a big dinner, the whole American family.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Mostly tradition, family, food.
I think just a family gathering, everyone together, have a bunch of food.
It means time for me to get together with friends, old friends and family, and enjoy time away from work and life, and to reconnect with friends and family.
And big old spread of all the foods. Yeah, and just to reflect what you're grateful for.
Taking a moment to actually slow down and say thanks to all the people we care about and, our family and friends and people who make our lives rich.
I mean, of course it is a tradition, one that I grew up with.
For me personally, Thanksgiving is a chance to have my family together.
And people that are close to family and friends to enjoy a meal and spend time together.
To me, personally, I don't know, it's Americans giving thanks for things they have.
I mean, not really anything, because I like to be thankful for what I have all the time, every day of the year, not just one day. So
a lot of eating. A lot of eating. I mean, that's the best part. It's just maybe everyone's a little ornery and cranky before, and then everyone gets together and eats a big turkey and has the sleepies afterwards. So that's nice. We're good. Yeah.
Prior to that, my own family, not very close knit, but I enjoyed seeing everybody. But it's a time to reflect and give thanks for everything you have.
It was generally one of the few family meals that we enjoyed the food. My mom wasn't a great cook, so it's pretty hard to screw up a turkey. But it was also a meal in which we had plenty to eat, because I had 5 brothers and we ate like horses, and my parents tended to lock the refrigerator a lot, so we were starving half the time. So Thanksgiving was something to look forward to because there was lots of food, and tons of bread and butter. We could eat 50 pieces of bread and butter if we wanted to.
You know, it's similar to Christmas in that the whole family comes together. You know, we have good food, play a lot of games.
Coming together, eating a big turkey together, and yeah, just joyful times. Of course, we know it from the movies, American movies, and yeah, I guess it's just a day to relax, get off work, and enjoy each other's company, spend some time together, chat, and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
There's something special about it. I think the fact that my dad's best friend Rob comes every Thanksgiving and gets to spend that with my dad, which and my mom, who have been friends now for 50 something years. I think that is really special for my parents, and I think it's really nice for me to get to see them have this joyous experience, especially my dad, who gets to spend, you know, several days with his best friend of his whole life.
So I think Thanksgiving as a ritual helps us to practice gratitude, which in turn makes us more humble and joyful people. And so Thanksgiving, whether it be on a holiday or just day to day, is essential for making us more virtuous people.
I've always loved Thanksgiving since I was a little kid. It means the day for us to pay attention to all the things for which we are grateful. I mean, not that I don't think about that a lot, I do. Try to remind myself to be grateful all the time. But Thanksgiving is a perfect excuse to enjoy friends and family. And of course, I'm thankful for you, my sweet Andrew. And I'm thankful to be part of your family, the sweet Bullis boys, and your mom and dad, and everybody else that comes to Thanksgiving every year.
To stand still in the everyday hectic, and just enjoy the small things, I think. So family, friends, loved ones, and there's a huge ass feast, but that's just one part of it, I think.
Just a super American, nice, happy feeling celebration thingy. Yeah, I think it's what I learned this holiday is that it's even bigger for you guys than Christmas, more or less. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's just the most American experience you can have, I guess. Yeah.
Good times together. Spending time with, as your children grow up, with their spouses or significant others, getting to know those people. Yeah.
Be thankful for
God knows what.
Oh, God knows what, indeed. And turkey, of course, and cranberry sauce. Those are the things that come up in my mind.
But used to be Thanksgiving was the time that I spent with my great nieces and nephews.
I think it's like a family holiday. It's more so than like maybe say Christmas, right? So Christmas I feel like has been very much co-opted by like gifts specifically, like material possession kind of stuff. Whereas I would say Thanksgiving is like a family moment, which is really nice. And so it's a good chance to come together. I think, you know, whether or not the history part of it's true or not, there's this like still focus on food, being thankful, it's in the name. So I think there's all of that, which I think is great. You know, people sitting around talking about what they're thankful for. There's a lot to be thankful for. If you're in a position where you can even celebrate a holiday, you already have a few things working for you. So, yeah.
I love spending the Thanksgiving with the Bolite. It's been really nice since I, you know, am married to a guy who now lives in Knoxville.
So I always represented Thanksgiving with plenty, which it's supposed to be. It's part of its tradition. But it was especially true for me because growing up as one of 9 kids, food was always at a premium. And it was a never-ending guerrilla warfare in my house growing up to get to food somehow, right? So that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think about Thanksgiving. I think I've always enjoyed Thanksgiving simply because it was a great opportunity for my family, the one I grew up with, and the one I have now, to be able to get together.
just fun being with old best friends. So that's what Thanksgiving, and I'm thankful for that. So there's my Thanksgiving hook.
We'd have Thanksgiving dinner at Brandy's house, which was always lovely. She's a wonderful hostess, and it was a joy to be with that California contingent part of the family. And that was the time that I had the Christmas celebration with Brandy and Pinky's kids, because I was never there for Christmas, because I was always in Knoxville with the Bolus family. And so we would always do crafts and presents, and it was really a lovely, lovely time. So I'm missing them this year, and I know they're all together at the ranch, which is wonderful, having a great time with all the cousins. But just wanted to say that that was a special time that I love too.
And when we establish traditions, whether it be a holiday or something else, it gives us an opportunity to remember and to reflect and to, just consider. But Thanksgiving as an idea, it's really essential, I believe actually a virtue, to offer thanks. Because let me ask you this, have you ever met an ungrateful person who is also happy? The answer is no. You can just think about it, that the two things are incongruent. And so gratitude is necessary for joy, for happiness, but gratitude is also necessary for humility and for fighting a sense of entitlement. In fact, it takes humility to be grateful, and then when you're grateful, it creates more humility. And so it's just kind of an upward cycle, if you will.
And it would entail going wherever the Boluses are and spending 3 or 4 days with my best friends in the world, and eating some more turkey and the usual pumpkin pie and all the just fun being with old best friends. So that's what Thanksgiving, and I'm thankful for that. So there's my Thanksgiving hook.
We say our thanks on Thanksgiving. It's called I'm thankful for my cousins.
What am I thankful for? Well, I'm thankful for having this experience.
What am I thankful for? I'm thankful for a ton of stuff.
Well, I'm thankful for my marriage. I'm thankful for my family, my friends, our church family.
My family's health, my health.
Like I was just saying, we see this stuff on TV a lot where the father is like in the kitchen and you come and sit down and he offers you like, would you like some pancakes? Would you like some eggs? We see that on TV all the time, and now you actually experience it. Like, Evelyn, would you like some eggs? You're like, okay.
I'm thankful for being here and be able to taste the turkey that we're about to eat.
I'm thankful for my grandfather, and thankful for my uncles, like Uncle Andrew.
I am most thankful for, again, family and my health, and I'm most thankful for my best present, which is Steve. He's my answer to my prayers and the love of my life, so I'm very grateful to have him.
I'm thankful for Rosemary. I'm thankful for Harry.
Our pets, Winston and Luna, and our house. And yeah, just I'm thankful for this weekend and just hanging out with everybody. So, yeah.
I'm thankful that I have things that interest me and fascinate me, in life. So I spend a lot of time reading about the things that interest me. As I know your dad does. He's a super history buff. I'm much more of a science buff, so I spend a lot of time reading about scientific breakthroughs and things like that interest me.
To be here, I mean, this is great. It's wonderful to be here. Like I said, sort of, it's a family holiday, and so I get to be included in this, which is really special for me.
Everything, but thankful to be here, alive. No horrific conflict in this country right now.
Ooh, my family, friends, yeah, that's definitely it.
I'm thankful for my family, my friends, thankful for my career. That's pretty much it.
Nora and Jordan, and not you.
In general, I'm really thankful for being able to travel around, to be healthy, to have a good family and friends, a circle of friends around me.
Well, it actually was pancakes with chocolate chip.
Really good.
Yeah, they were good. They were really good. And the sausage was in the shape of a hamburger, and that was pretty funny.
In fact, I've been thinking about sitting down. Of course, thinking about and actually doing it are two different things, but I do intend to actually do this, and that is start making a list of all the things I'm thankful for in my life, starting, with my wonderful daughter.
Well, for one, I'm thankful for my family and especially my wife. I've been married for a little bit over a year, and it's the greatest blessing in my life. I think marriage has challenged me to grow more than anything else ever has. And so I love my wife, and I'm grateful for her.
All the other stuff doesn't matter. Family, friends, healthy, alive, all that. Yeah, that's what I'm thankful for.
I'm just happy to be with people I love. And I'm thankful for Jessie. And I'm thankful for her happiness and the fact that she's here with me, as well with my dear friends from the Netherlands who are experiencing their first Thanksgiving. So I'm grateful to have good people around me.
Here with my friends and family and, everyone I care about, and I know all my other friends are also doing this and having a nice day and not working, and that's a great feeling. And
Just living a good life, I suppose.
Thankful for being fortunate to have a good career and wife having a good career, and grateful that our family is all healthy in here.
And my best friends, the top of which is your dad, Paul, and a lot of other friends that I have going back years and years. I've had the great good fortune to have good friends, in my life, my whole life. And that's very important to me, and that I'm extremely thankful for that.
I'm thankful for, I think, all the simple but most important things. So, family, thankful for you.
Yeah, I mean, prior to coming here for the last few years, I have not really had a Thanksgiving, to be honest with you. It was more just like you'd eat turkey type thing. But it wasn't like the same type of vibe, I guess. So I think just being here is really nice.
Grateful for the rest of my family who spent their time and their treasure to come, so that we can all be together. I'm grateful for my church and that community. Grateful for my home and
Milton. Thankful for you. I'm thankful for my family. I'm really thankful for my family.
Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm thankful for memes and SpongeBob.
I'm thankful that I was able to get a good education that led to a good job and all that goes with that.
grateful to have a home to sleep in and work that keeps me going and that I enjoy, and I still have my parents and everyone else and all that.
Yeah, I'm thankful to be happy. Yeah.
Thankful that I had good parents who were upright people, who cared about other people, that they had a lot of empathy. So it's really, family, friends, and work. I'm thankful for my career because, I have a very limited skill set. And this job happens to take the few things that I can do well and let me make money doing them. So
The greatest the absolute greatest accomplishment or thing in my life are my 3 sons. That's enough for me in every respect. Whatever I've accomplished in my career or in any other way or anything else I've managed to survive, nothing trumps that as the one true thing that I'm exceptionally happy about, grateful for, satisfied with. That's it.
Just lots of delicious food, things to try, things to learn, lots of stuff. So, you know, it's a nice life. Yeah.
I feel like there's so many other things that I don't offer thanks for enough. But with that said, I'm grateful for this season, ironically, because it gives us a chance to actually reflect.
First of all, I'm thankful that I have a very good husband who's taken great care of our family. You know, we've been a good team, and we've raised 3 successful, happy, interested, involved, caring young men. I'm blessed for that. I like watching their lives.
I'm thankful for parents who did the work in their life to improve themselves and the future that we could have, myself and my brothers. So I'm thankful for opportunity.
That's it. Nothing else.
Turkey and mashed potatoes and green beans and mac and cheese.
I do like green bean casserole, so that's probably the thing that sticks out.
It's a toss-up between the apple pie and the pumpkin pie.
The most fattening food I can.
Well, any food.
Turkey, and I like dressing, and I like gravy.
Turkey, stuffing, and lots of sides with all the trims.
But pumpkin is really kind of my all-time favorite, and it's tied, you know, apple pie you can have anytime, but pumpkin pie only shows up at Thanksgiving and Christmas, really. So that makes it probably my go-to favorite.
The green bean casserole.
I'm so excited for the sweet potato casserole. It's my favorite, and green bean casserole, and yeah, just all the casseroles. So.
I think the combination of the turkey and the mashed potatoes with the gravy on top, that's my favorite.
I love the stuffing, and I love the turkey and the gravy.
Sweet potatoes with marshmallows on the top.
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of most of the Thanksgiving fare. I know, it's kind of crazy. There's not a ton of things that I'm like, oh, I really like that.
Oh, you know, I'm going after Jared for the.
It's funny, every year, Elizabeth, who joins us for Thanksgiving customarily, we argue about who's gonna eat more of this
Sweet potato casserole. Yeah, we're duking it out. We're beefing for the casserole.
Like that is absolutely our favorite. Of course, we love all the other dishes with one major exception. So if I can flip the question on its head a bit, the food that I'm least looking forward to would have to be stuffing. I don't get it. It's just stale, bland bread.
Probably the like dressing or stuffing. I think that really works for me, like the bread cubes and all that kind of stuff. Growing up, we would make it with sausage, which is like so weird, but it was really good.
I love stuffing. Stuffing is great.
What is the point?
I've never been a huge fan of stuffing. I like the sweet potato casserole. That's good. Desserts, delicious. Different pies. Apple pie, I would say, is my favorite.
You know, we don't do mac and cheese in our family really, and so, you know, which is more of like a Southern thing, but you'll see it at some people's Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm looking forward to what your dad is doing, because he put one turkey in a plastic bag with not broth. He said it was just salt water to kind of capture the fluid, to keep them moist but make the skin crispy. And the other one he's doing in a different way. So I'm really looking forward to that, because you can compare that way and see what the technique does.
Not so much sweets. I do like an apple pie, a good apple pie.
The stuffed turkey, of course. And Alex just told me about some kind of pudding jello that just comes right out of the bag. Yeah, I'm curious to taste that as well, because he was like, yeah, that's amazing. It's disgusting, but it's amazing. So looking forward to that.
And pumpkin pie.
Broccoli cheese, casserole, or maybe the sweet potato casserole. A couple of top favorites. I like turkey and gravy, but probably the side dishes.
Corn, I love mashed potatoes, gravy. That's actually also a dish that I love to eat back in the Netherlands, because it kind of ties me back to the States.
Although the whole batch of Thanksgiving's food, the turkey, the gravy, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, the green beans, all that goes into that as one is just, makes for an awesome meal.
But like, as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate like all of it. Like everything is delicious. Plus, like a little salad keeps the gears turning and everything. You have to like get a little bit of everything.
And cranberries from the can. And I like my mom's cranberry salad, which I made this year for the first time, and I'm hoping it turns out really well. That's what I'm most looking forward to.
Mashed potatoes, probably. Yeah.
Any food that's home cooked and that has been prepared with love, that I like. Of course, the turkey. I'm very, very curious about the turkey, and especially since we don't eat it a lot in Holland, where I'm from.
The turkey, any other day of the year, take or leave. But today it's the thing.
Turkey is not my favorite.
And all the casseroles. I heard your dad makes a nice casserole every year. The mashed sweet potato thingy with marshmallow. Yeah, I tasted it yesterday. Not your dad's one, but in the restaurant I had it, and that was already super nice. Yeah.
I love turkey. I love dressing with mashed potatoes and the brown gravy made with the giblets and all that. That's just, and of course the green bean casserole.
Curious about the turkey, and especially since we don't eat it a lot in Holland, where I'm from. Mostly chicken. So the turkey, and I think typical sauce that goes with it is the cranberry sauce. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
I heard there's a ham, which I think is like sacrilege, right?
I don't get it. It's just stale, bland bread. What is the point? I get that it's traditional, but tradition doesn't add flavor, so I don't understand. But sweet potato casserole.
Like, it's not what that's for Christmas. That's for Christmas. No, I'm kidding. I'm glad there's a ham for those who will, are willing to do that today. So yeah.
Mashed potatoes and the brown gravy made with the giblets and all that. That's just, and of course the green bean casserole. It's the best.
Takes the cake.
It's the coup de grace.
I am Nora again. As you can see, Nora Bowless. So it's almost Thanksgiving. Hooray! Bye!
Dad, what are we working on over here?
What do we got? Getting the vegetables in, making the gravy, finishing off the sweet potatoes, finishing off the ham, ways.
A lot of shit. Got it. Same.
World famous green bean casserole, the best dish of the meal.
Okay, we'll see about that. See how the reviews come in later. Yeah, what do you got, Jared?
This is the also world famous, I think, broccoli casserole.
Ooh,
that came from
yummy.
Dad's recipe book.
Okay, but you're hard.
But I invented it. That's what I'm famous for.
Square root of -1 is I. 2 to the third is 8. And sum is the Greek letters, sigma for sum. I ate some pie. And it was delicious.
It's okay.
These are Ritz crackers.
Okay.
And
And that's all you need to know.
I feel like you're a fascist. I don't know.
Oh, Chandler's a fascist.
She's a fascist.
She's a fascist, so.
You were a fascist?
Probably a fascist, probably a fascist.
I think she might be a fascist.
I think she's a fascist.
He, I think, is a fascist and gave her
She's
the
a fascist.
chance.
That's all her credit.
3 fascists.
Don't trust,
That's
I think,
true.
all of you.
She was a fascist. I
Huh?
knew she and I suspected these two.
I know Rob's a fascist.
She's a fascist.
We're
you a fascist?
the three of us are fascists.
I was a fascist.
All right.
Jesse,
Okay, so
you a
one down.
fascist?
One down.
Yeah, sure.